Some words on St Spyridon, brothers and sisters. Take a seat. The island of Cyprus was both the birthplace and where this glorious saint, Spyridon in Greek, served the church. The little village of Trimithunda, as it was known back then, today known as Tremetousia, is only a few kilometers away from my mother's village. And so our family has a very close affinity with St Spyridon. Spyridon was born of simple parents who were farmers, and he remained simple and humble until his death. In his youth, he married and had children, but his wife died, and after her passing, he devoted himself completely to the service of God. Because of his exceptional piety, he was chosen as bishop of the town of Trimithous. Yet even as a bishop, he did not change his simple way of living. He continued to handle his livestock and cultivated his land by himself. He used very little of the fruits of his labor for himself. Instead, he distributed a greater share to those in need. He manifested great miracles by God's power. He brought down rain in time of drought. He stopped the flow of a river, raised several people from the dead. He healed Emperor Constantius of a grave illness. He saw and heard angels of God. He foresaw future events, discerned the secrets of men's hearts. He converted many to the true faith, and many more. He took part in the First Ecumenical Council in Nicaea in the year 325 AD, and he brought many heretics back to orthodoxy by his simple and clear exposition of the faith, as well as by his mighty miracles. He was so simply dressed, and if you look at his icon, you would see that he wears a little hood. He was so simply dressed that once, when he wanted to enter the imperial court at the invitation of the emperor, a soldier, thinking that Spyridon was a beggar, pushed him away, striking him in the face. Spyridon, who was meek, turned the other cheek to him. Spyridon glorified God through many miracles and was of benefit not only to many individuals, but also the whole Church of God. There's another story where St Spyridon once sold 100 goats to a merchant at an agreed price and told the buyer to lay down the money. The buyer, knowing that Spyridon himself never counted money, handed over enough money for 99 goats and hid the money for the one goat. Then Spyridon counted out 100 goats for that merchant. But when the merchant and his servants drove off the goats, one of the goats returned to Spyridon bleating. He drove it off, but it returned again. And so the goat continually returned to the enclosure, not wanting to go with the other goats. The saint then whispered into the merchant's ear, "Observe this, my son. This animal is not doing this in vain. Did you perhaps withhold its price. The merchant became ashamed and acknowledged his sin. As soon as he paid the amount he had concealed, the goat immediately joined the other goats. On another occasion, some thieves entered the sheepfold of Spyridon. They seized as many sheep as they wanted, and they tried to leave the sheepfold, but an invisible force nailed them to the ground, and they were unable to move. They stayed there all night, pinned to the ground. At dawn, the bishop came to his sheepfold. Seeing the thieves, he reproached them mildly and instructed them to strive in the future to live by their own work and not by stealing. He then took a sheep and gave it to them, saying, "Take this for your trouble, so that your all-night vigil not be in vain." And he dismissed them in peace. St Spyridon of Trimithunda entered into the rest of the Lord in the year 348 AD. His miracle-working relics were taken to the island of Kerkyra from Cyprus, and even today they glorify God with many miracles. Αδελφοί, καλή σας ημέρα, χρόνια πολλά σε όλους οι οποίοι γιορτάζετε. Περάστε σας παρακαλώ από την μέση για το αντιδώρο.